Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of blue, blanc, rouge. If you're a Habs fan, like I am, subscribe, ring that bell, leave a comment, and give a thumbs up if you like the video. All right, so we're here with, as you can see from that thumbnail, we're here, first of all, with Matt and Peter. And basically, the list has been leaked for the expansion draft. So well before the 8 o'clock show they're putting on tonight. So why wait? A lot of this is confirmed. Some of it, there might be some differences because there's some deals going on with teams to maybe pick other players and stuff like that. So this is as close as we can get till 8 o'clock. But there's some good news if you're a Habs fan, and that is, I'm going to put that up first and that is this. From Frank Saravalli, from Pierre LeBrun, and Elliot Friedman also agreeing, Seattle Kraken have not selected Carey Price from Montreal Canadiens in the expansion draft, and they are likely to pick Cale Fleury. So, good news. Carey Price remains a Hab. And I think that's good news. I really do, because if he's injured, that's fine. We'll get a little bit of cap relief, and it'll still help. And we don't lose Carey Price. I think it would have been horrible to lose Price for nothing. People were freaking out over this, myself included. Not freaking out, but I had planned today, because I didn't know if it would all be leaked, but I was going to do a video ahead of time. Price is a Kraken. I wanted to be ready. I thought almost sure he was going to be, so I was going to be ready with a video to go just before I was planning to do the video. And this news came out, so I didn't have to. But that's how sure I was that Carey Price was going to be taken. Of the crew here, I know Pete for sure was not. He was on the other side. He was sure Price was not going to be taken. Matt, how are you? I'm not sure where you were. Did you think?
I didn't know. I didn't know. The only problem I would have had with it is just the fact that we would have lost him for nothing.
No,
that
but
would have
what
been a
side
terrible
were you
look on
on?
Mark Bergevin.
Well, what side were you leaning on? That he was going to be taken or not? I don't remember.
I was probably leaning more towards he was going to be taken, but I wasn't like fully leaning like
No,
either
I get
side.
it.
But I'd say leaning more towards he would be taken.
I think most people were. I think it was about 65-35 of everything I saw. Most people were like freaking out that he was going to go, or certain that he was going to go. So it turns out he's not. And here's another thing. So this picture came out because they were going down to Washington. Everyone's sure that he's going down there to be, introduced and everything. And the colors that he's wearing. So they're saying this picture was put out to let everybody know he's going to be a Kraken because of the colors he's wearing, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's how crazy it was. And then this is another one I found, so I just thought I'd show you. People were getting really ready for Price to be I myself was sure. I said to myself this morning, yeah, if I'm Ron Francis, I take Carey Price for the marketing value and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad I'm wrong, and Carey Price is still a Hab. So the reason we're doing this is most of the names have been leaked, and we're going to show them to you. So my thanks to John at Hot Take Hockey for this graphic that I'm about to use, because I kind of found it, and it's got his name on it. And it's the only one I found that I could actually use. It shows all the names. So John, who hopefully our friendship is good enough for me to use this. But thanks, John, for having this out there. And I really appreciate this graphic because it helps. So there you go. So it shows I've added a couple of people there, and you can kind of tell. I misspelled somebody's name. You can tell. So this is basically everybody but two. And I do believe for the Anaheim Ducks, we have Hayden Fleury up there. They've taken Hayden Fleury. So let's go through this. Guys, I know we can't see each other right now, but let's talk about it. So just in terms of, are you surprised? And who did you think they might have picked there? For the Avs, they took Jonas Donskoy. Not surprised at all. That's who I had in my mock draft. Either you guys surprised about that? I think he's a good player. He makes a little bit of money, 3.9, I think. And he signed for another year, I think. But this is a good player, and I think he can really help them.
There's a few
I'm
players
not
on there
surprised.
that
Not surprised at Donskoy, Matt.
no.
No,
Um,
I thought he was gonna go.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of did for that. From Chicago, it's kind of iffy. Apparently, it's like, yeah, it's Zadorov. No, it's not. Yeah, it's Zadorov. But Nikita Zadorov is apparently the guy they've taken. I thought they were going to go with a younger kid. Honestly, I don't remember the name because it's in my video and I didn't pull that up. But my backup was Zadorov. What do you guys think? Matt, you got to go?
Is everything okay here?
Yeah, Matt's talking to somebody. Peter, what do you think about Zadorov? I thought he might be making. He's a UFA, so they have to sign him to a contract, I believe, or an RFA. And he was making a little bit more than I thought they would want, but he brings some toughness.
That's exactly what he does. He brings that grit that you're looking for, and
Yeah,
as you go through this list, which we're going to, you're going
there
to
ain't a
notice
lot.
that they're following that gritty kind of.
Well, that's actually true. It is kind of gritty.
Yeah.
And he's the if nobody knows who he is, Zadorov's the guy that slew-footed Kakanyemi KK a couple seasons ago against the boards, and he just spun him around, and KK almost looked like he broke his neck, but he didn't. No. That's the guy, Zadorov. So that's what they got there. Okay,
I
next
think
up,
they pronounce it Zadorov. Do they
Zadorov.
not?
Yeah. He's not coming after me. I don't care.
I would love to have him on my team personally.
He's tough. He
plays on that edge.
Yeah. Next up, Columbus.
He is a tough SOB.
He is. They got him for toughness. That's for sure. Next up is Columbus, and I have zero idea who Gavin Bayreuther is. Matt, you my guy for that. You know who he is? No idea.
No, I don't. I thought it was going to be Domi. I thought he was probably.
That was my next thing. I'm shocked it wasn't Domi.
Yeah, I out of everyone else, I didn't really recognize anyone else. I don't really know a lot of I don't really know a lot about the Blue Jackets aside from like the big guys, and like obviously Domi from his time in Montreal, and I thought it was going to be Domi.
For the center, he's a center. He's an actual center. There's not a lot of center depth here that is NHL caliber that we know of yet, right? So I thought they'd go for Domi. Next up, St. Louis. Everybody, and myself included, thought Tarasenko. I don't know how they turned out Tarasenko. But my backup was Dunn. I thought if it's not Tarasenko, it's Vince Dunn. They took Vince Dunn. I'm not surprised. Good defenseman, a little small on the size aspect.
He's a good defenseman.
And he
young. Moves the puck fairly well.
Oh, yeah. And he's young, and it's clear here they've gone for a lot of young guys. And they're going with youth, and there's some experience, but there's a lot of young guys.
They're going with a lot of defense too.
He's got really good eyes. He sees the ice very well. I noticed.
Next is Boston defenseman Jeremy Lauzon, and from what I understand, he's a good prospect. The fans are going to be unhappy that they took Lauzon. Boston is too, so I'm not surprised there. I don't know a lot about Lauzon. You guys, anything?
I don't know anything about him.
Well, I live in Boston, so I can weigh in on that when Pete's done.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, all right, then I'll go. So yeah, he is a good, he's a young, interesting prospect. I think the big kind of picture after this and what Boston fans might be a little worried about is their defensive depth, because they lost Kevin Miller, to retirement, and now they're going to lose Lauzon. So, I mean, their top two of McAvoy, Carlos are going to change, but I think, defensive depth-wise, they might have some problems. I think that's kind of the big picture here. And if it wasn't Lauzon, I thought maybe Nikitschy, but Lauzon, I think, makes sense. That's the pick.
I thought they were going to go with different Colin something or Nick Ritchie for some reason. I thought they might go that way. Anyway, they didn't. I'm not surprised. They're going young. Next up is what everybody wants to hear. So you can see right there, that's the big announcement. They did not take Carey Price. So Carey Price remains Montreal Canadian. I mentioned that earlier, didn't I? I think I did. So the surprise for me, sort of, is that they took Cale Fleury. But if you can see that they're going with a lot of young guys. Cale Fleury's young, got the size, he's got the physical game. he probably is NHL ready this year coming. So, like, I expected him to be on the team at some point. So, I guess. So, are you guys surprised at all by Fleury?
A little bit. I was thinking my thing was I was thinking that we'd be losing Failing.
Failing wasn't.
That's right.
Eligible.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I thought Kulak. I really thought it would be.
I thought Kulak
Kulak.
before they protected Lehkonen. I thought Lehkonen.
Oh yeah, but Lehkonen got protected, but
he ended up getting protected. So I was leaning towards Kulak. But look, I don't think it's a huge loss because we got Caden Goalie and Matthias Norlinder developing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's fine.
I think in terms of our youth defense, I don't think it hurts that much at all. And we got Romanov, who I think is going to be a good NHL defender. So I don't think it's a huge loss. I'm okay with it. I'm glad it wasn't Price because I would have killed to lose him for nothing.
I think the Habs fan base are really happy, and they're kind of happy. I hope learning early and not having to wait till 8 o'clock to Carey Price.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have been able to make it till 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Now, for myself, and here I'm getting confused because we had a conversation before we started filming. So I'm not sure if I said this already or was in the conversation earlier. But if I were Ron Francis, I would have taken Carey Price. I really would have for the marketing value. And I thought that was kind of a smart thing. It's clear here they're going for apparently they're just clearing the minimum on the cap. So it's
by
clear
that much. Like clearing it.
He wants the cap space to start making deals and start picking up. Like the guys that you see on this list are not all going to be with the team when it starts.
Oh no!
Its first game. There's going to be some changes, and their cap
there'll
will
be
go
trades. They'll probably have some. They'll definitely make trades. Free agent frenzy. Yeah.
There's going to be some changes, but it is where we are. Okay, next up. Cole Lind from Vancouver, who I know zero about. Anybody?
I don't know much about him either. I don't follow the Canucks, even though I live out on the West Coast.
Well, there you go. So we don't know much about him. Washington, not a surprise for me. I was sure they were going to take Vitek Vanacek. He's a goalie. A good young prospect goalie at his first season. Had good numbers with Washington. And, I'm not surprised at all with Vanacek. I don't know a lot about him. Not surprised they took Vanacek.
I think he's going to be the number 2.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
I can see him as the number 2 behind Drager.
Yeah, with what they've taken, I think for sure that's how they're going to start. Unless they make another move to pick up a more experienced goalie, we don't know that. Next up, Tyler Pitlick from the Coyotes. I know we have a Pitlick in our system. I think they might have traded him, though. I don't know anything about Tyler at all. Nothing? No?
I know he's a good depth guy. That's about it.
Yeah, he's not a top 6 guy. He's not a top 6 guy. Next up, New Jersey. I really, really, really was. I thought they would take PK. I really did. They took Nathan Bastian, who I know zero about, except that he's a young player. And you can no idea they went young. So we all know nothing about him. So next up. That's Hayden Fleury. So that's the interesting thing now.
That's Cale's brother,
Hayden
right?
Fleury, and they got Cale Fleury. So the two brothers are on the same team. That's always.
If your last name is Fleury, you're guaranteed to be picked in an expansion draft.
It seems like so. I don't know how many other Fleuries there are. There might be. I don't. Well, Marc Andre's not eligible.
Oh yeah, Marc Andre.
He ain't going there. He ain't going there right now. So it's interesting that the two Fleury brothers are there. There was always, how many rumors were there that Montreal, or I got this question a lot, that Montreal should go after Hayden Fleury, bring the two brothers together. Well, Seattle did that, so we'll see how that works out. Both good prospects, and we'll see how that works out. And an interesting two brothers on the team. Next up, Mark Giordano from Calgary. Not surprised. I figured they were going to take Giordano. The question is, are they going to move him afterward? Apparently, there might be a deal with the Rangers, or they're talking to the Rangers. So I don't know.
That seems to be the talk right now.
I think it's good to have an experienced older guy like that who anchors your defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong. You teach the young guys.
Yeah, I think I kind of think they hold on to Giordano. I'm going to be a little surprised if they do trade off Giordano there.
You need a good captain.
Yeah, you do. Next up, Philadelphia, Carson Twarynski. Know nothing about him. Nothing.
No.
I thought they'd have gone for.
Yeah.
I forget who I had. I actually thought maybe JVR, but I thought, well, that's a lot of money, and he's a little old. So, and then maybe Goss was there,
So
but they didn't.
I got a bit of insight actually on this guy because a good friend of mine, his name's Alex. He's also a good friend of the channel. He's subscribed. He watches all the lives. He wanted them to take Voracek to take the money off. I didn't think they would because the money was too high. But from what he said about this kid, it sounds like he's a bum. Like he's just kind of like he was like their 13th forward. Like nothing special about him. He's just kind of there. Yeah. That's what he said. I don't know. I mean, he's been a fan of the team for God knows how long, so I trust him. But,
yeah, no, maybe they made some kind of a side deal or something, but it doesn't make sense. They would have probably liked Voracek to be taken, so they get rid of the money. Yeah, I don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah,
I suspect that Francis.
Yeah, like I said, my buddy told me he was just kind of a bum. He's just kind of there as a roster spot.
But maybe Francis probably sees something in him. His scouting staff probably sees something in him. Anyway, next up, another guy I don't know from Carolina, Morgan Geekie.
I thought it was Jake Bean.
I was sure they were going to take Jake Bean.
It was first reported it was Jake Bean, and then it got changed to Geekie.
He's young. He's a good, like a good, solid young defenseman.
Jake Bean.
How did they not take him?
Morgan Geekie is a big kid. He's only 20, 22, 23 years old.
Young.
He's a big kid, and he's a good centerman. Like he's that Ron Francis mold.
There you go. See, good.
He plays a 200-foot game.
That would make sense. If they see that in him, they need centers. They got to develop centers.
And he's a 6'3", 6'4".
Oh, that makes sense then. Okay, next up, Jordan Eberle. So there's some more experience.
Yeah.
From the Islanders. I don't think the Islanders had a ton of things guys to take. I'm not surprised. Eberle, he'll bring some experience.
No, they really didn't. I think it was really only going to be Jordan Eberle.
Yeah, and maybe they move him. Who knows? But I'm not surprised.
I think they keep him.
I think he's a good.
Yeah,
I think he's a good second line guy, but
yeah,
he's that soft-handed player that you need.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, the first year for sure. He's a good guy to have around. Next up is Winnipeg's Mason Appleton. Mason Appleton from Winnipeg. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. No, Appleton in my
he
draft.
Was pretty much the consensus pick.
Yeah, he's also another young, big forward with some, a decent ceiling. So I'm not surprised.
That's why I'm shocked that Winnipeg just didn't.
Well, okay. If you're shocked that he was made available,
yeah,
okay, but that's why I'm not surprised he got picked. You know what I mean?
It's yeah.
Next up is McDermott. I don't know his first name. Do you?
Isn't it Travis?
Travis McDermott. I guess Paul McDermott's son.
Might be. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know a lot about him.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. That's LA Kings. LA Kings lose McDermott. Next up, Tampa, Yanni Gourde, who we all know because we just played Tampa in the finals. There's also a rumor that Montreal's going to try to trade for Gourde from Seattle when this is all done.
Too small.
Yeah. So we were talking about that earlier, and as much as Gourde's a good, sneaky little guy and all that, but we got guys like that are small. Getting more small players kind of just isn't going to work, I think. So I don't think we're going to go after Gourde, but it looks like they're going to take Yanni Gourde, which I understand. I think that's a good pick for them. Next up is Jared McCann from Toronto. Toronto just acquired McCann, and they just lost McCann, who's a really good, versatile player who can play in your bottom six and can be a shutdown kind of guy and stuff like that.
That's why the Pens traded him. I don't think the Pens wanted to lose him for nothing. They should have.
Toronto should have protected him or something. I don't know what Toronto's doing there. Like, are they going to what? They're going to go back. They think they're going to make it with.
I don't know what's going on. I don't get that one. But
before the trade, the consensus pick for Toronto was going to be Kerfoot. Then they bring in McCann. It's like, all right, it could go either way. But the reason Pittsburgh, I believe anyway, and what a lot of people believe, the reason Pittsburgh traded McCann was to get a little bit of something for him because they knew he was going.
Right.
So I think, honestly, that's good on the Ken's GM for doing that.
Yeah.
But what about dumbass?
I mean, he's a bad prospect. He's a decent little prospect, and then you get a 7th-round pick, which isn't nothing, So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get how they didn't protect him. I don't get it. Like
that's dumbass doing his dumbass moves.
Then Kerfoot would have been taken if they protected him. Kerfoot probably would have been the guy. I don't know who else they would have taken off their protection list, but
I think.
All right, next up, let's not waste any more time on a. All right, Adam Larson to the Oilers, but that's a UFA signing, so they signed Larson.
Yeah.
I got the numbers.
16 mil.
Yeah, 4 years, $4 million AAV. So that's 16 million. So Larson,
I don't think that's bad for a guy like
experience.
Larson.
That's a good signing, I think.
That's a not bad number. The money's good,
and I think that's a good contract.
Yeah, and he's experienced. I mean, he got some experience there. So I'm not surprised there. And I don't think Edmonton had a lot for them to choose from.
No.
So I'm not surprised because I don't think there was a lot there for them to choose. Next up, Chris Driedger, another signing. Chris Driedger from Florida. So Driedger is signed.
We knew this was coming, I think, within a week?
A couple of days ago, for sure. Chris Driedger signs a 3-year, $10.5 million contract. So that's $3.5 million AAV. So I believe Driedger will be probably, from what I see here, the starter. And with Vanacek backing him up. Unless they make other moves, which could be happening. You don't know, but that's what it looks like. So I'm not surprised there. Next up from Pittsburgh, Brandon Tanev, who is probably a really good pick for them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
He's a keeper.
That would have been, honestly, if because they lost McCann, I was thinking Tanev. As soon as they made that trade, I was like, all right, it's going to be Tanev.
Yeah, I think it's a good – he can play on different – like all over the board. And he's like an energy kind of guy and physical. Yeah, I think it's a good pick, good pickup for them. I'm not surprised. Next up from Nashville, Calle Jarnkrok. He's a center, I believe, and I had him in my draft. I thought they picked him up. I don't know a lot about him, but I thought it made sense from what I saw there on their list. So
I don't know much about him either.
Yeah, I think he's a versatile bottom six kind of guy. That's it. That's all I know about him. Next guy I don't know anything about from New York Rangers. Colin. There's supposed to be an A there, Blackwell, but I can't spell. So that's who the Rangers took. You guys know anything about him?
No, not much about that
really.
Either.
I thought they might
again. With the Giordano rumors, it sounds like that could have been part of it. Like I said, we don't know.
Yeah.
But that name kind of seemed to be floating around when that broke. That could have been, that could be part of the deal. I don't know.
He must be a good prospect. I don't know anything about him. Detroit, don't know who's coming out of Detroit. You guys got any idea?
No, that's another team it's like Edmonton. There's
Stetcher. I think that's who I thought. Troy Stetcher.
Stetcher, I've heard, is the name that most people think is going to be the pick, but nothing's been confirmed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Stetcher, but we don't know yet. So that's one I can't deliver on, and I apologize. Buffalo, William Borgen. I know nothing.
This kid. I love this kid.
Okay, so you know about him. Tell us about him.
He's another one of those big defensemen. Okay on the puck moving, a little bit. He's got to grow into that body. He's like our KK. KK's got to grow into it. This kid, I see potential eventually. It's not right now.
So they're looking for a big, solid defense. And
they're looking for a big defense. And this, as far as I know, I think he's like 6'2", 190.
About playing hockey.
I'm sure he's happy to get out of there. Rumor has it that Kraken might be dealing with Buffalo their second pick to get Jack Eichel. So this is a rumor I saw. I don't know the validity of it. We'll find out. But so you might see that happen. That can happen anytime because that's the draft.
Yeah.
That's a different draft. They can make
Right.
that deal at any time. So that's a totally different thing.
That's
All right.
only a couple days away, too, right?
2 days away. The entry draft is on Wednesday. Buffalo, Ottawa. This was a surprise for me. I didn't really think they'd go for a cord. I thought if they went for the goalie, they'd pick up Forsberg, is it, or the other guy? I can't remember. Gustafson or Forsberg? I'm not sure what I had. But they pick up Joey Decord as their third goalie. I think he's a good young prospect, So I don't know a lot about him. I know I saw him play 1 or 2 games.
We saw him play a couple of games against us, and
that's all I know about him.
He's got some potential.
Yeah, good young prospect. I thought they'd go for Kakinen from Minnesota, but they didn't. Where was Minnesota on here? I don't see Minnesota's. Anyway,
Minnesota's the last one, and that's the one that I'm most impressed by.
Okay. So next up from the Sharks, Alexander True, who I know zero about.
No idea who this guy is.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this kid.
All right. Next up from Dallas, I thought they would sign Oleksiak. He was a free agent. They signed Jamie Oleksiak from Dallas. That's who I had in my mock draft. I don't know a ton about Oleksiak, but I know he's a good.
He's stay at home.
Yeah, he's a good third pairing guy.
Yeah, he's a good stay-at-home, huge defenseman.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised. That's who I thought they'd take. And
then that one right there, Carson Soucy. Oh, my God.
So from Minnesota, Carson Soucy, who I know zero about, but I take it Pete knows something about.
Oh, love him. Love him. Big, mean guy. Like, good defenseman. If you like another one of those stay-at-home, I'm going to put you through the glass kind of defenseman.
That's what they're looking to have. So they're trying to develop.
Look at the guys that they're signing. Their defense is huge.
Yeah. So the guys that you can kind of figure are going to slot in right away are big, and then these younger guys who might take a year or two are going to. They're also they're looking for that big physical defense like Montreal kind of had this year. That's what they're especially in the playoffs.
And if you think back to when Francis played in Pittsburgh, they had a massive defense, right? And that's exactly what they've got. And he's built himself a bunch of no-name players, kind of like the old school Pittsburgh Penguins. If you really kind of try to slot the players in and see who they compare to, with Pittsburgh, that's kind of the fold that he's going down.
He knows what he wants. He knows what he wants. He was a great player, so he's got his idea, and you can see it's kind of in his mold a little bit, right? So not surprised to how this team kind of turned out.
All I know is teams out here like Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, when they play the Kraken, they need to show up. Otherwise, they're going to get slapped around. Yeah. They're a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if this team makes the playoffs, but I kind of think they might. We'll have to see how it works out.
They could, but you better show up to play. That's all I got to say there. Judging by the way he's
Yeah, exactly. All right, so there we got to the end of it. I hope everybody enjoyed that. We talked about it, showed you this should be. There may be some changes. This may not be 100% accurate. I can see that, but I have a feeling this is where it's going to go. I think this is a pretty accurate, if not fully 100% accurate leak, I guess, of the names that are going to come out tonight. So hope you enjoyed that. I think we had fun doing that, and it's really cool that Carey Price is still a Montreal Canadian. I'm happy about that. Even though I was calm about it, I have to say my mood really improved when I found out that he wasn't going to be taken. Like it really improved. I was like, oh wow, I'm really in a good mood. I didn't realize I was kind of, I didn't realize it was affecting me kind of in that way. So
I'm kind of on the opposite. I would have liked to have. Well, I didn't want to see him go for nothing, but hey, he's on the LTIR. We get some money.
Right.
Yeah, I was excited about kind of the excitement that was going to go around that and the new players that were going to have to come in and all that. But, I think maybe in the long run is probably what's best for the team, because it's going to be hard. Even if it's going to be hard, no matter what they bring back, you're not going to have the same quality in nets, and it might take a long time to get that again. You don't know.
No.
So I'm kind
With
of happy.
goaltending, we've had this
Like I said,
conversation
too,
before.
I like
Goaltending
Dave
is a hard
Primo
one.
a lot.
Oh, you both
Like
talked over it.
I watched him. I watched him play at Northeastern. Great goalie. I don't think he's there yet, but I think he can get there. And my fear was I didn't want to thrust him in there too early and maybe ruin his confidence. So that was kind of my worry, but also just the fact that we could have lost him for nothing.
We're talking about Primo. Were you talking about Primo?
I was just thinking about like what
Yeah.
we would have done if we lost Price.
Yeah. No, so let me ask you guys this before we go. They can't bring Primo in as the backup to Allen at the beginning of the season, especially if it's all season. I think that's a mistake. So they got to go out and get a goalie. Would you agree? Someone who can split time, not be Allen's backup, but they got to work in tandem.
Share.
They got to work in tandem because Allen doesn't do well otherwise. In general,
Right.
So yeah, you guys have any idea on a name? I don't really right now. So, you guys have any idea who they might go after? Yeah, me neither. I don't really have any idea. It's too hard to tell right
I'd
now.
have to look into it, but yeah, like I said, I don't think Primo's there yet. I think he can get there. I mean, I think he's a really
at least
good
another
goalie,
year.
but I think
That's what I said earlier.
To the Wolves.
Another year in Laval. He needs another year in Laval.
Yeah, I said
maybe at the end of this. He might be ready by the
agree.
end of the season, but he needs to spend at least most of, if not all of next season in Laval, in my opinion.
I agree.
Right. No, I mean 1,000%, especially after the past 2 seasons where everything's been kind of jumbled. Like he needs to. I think he needs to play a full season and really, get back into hockey mode.
And one more point on that. Do you remember near the end of the season they were playing? I don't know if it was Edmonton. They put Primo in. He had a bad showing, and Allen had to replace him. And Allen talked to him before. Remember? And he talked to him, and he talked him down from being so, like, almost ready to jump off a roof.
Yeah.
So if this is going to be like, because I can see this being the tandem in 2 seasons, right? I can see that being the tandem in 2 seasons.
Possibly.
And that could be really good because Allen and him seem to be already developing this nice relationship.
And that's probably what Bergevin's plan is.
I think,
Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think Allen's a great leader like that on the bench. I really do. And he's got all that, he's got so much experience. I think he's a great teacher for Caden Primo, and having Price there again for Primo to kind of like watch and learn from. So I think it's great for him. Like I said, that's why I think he can definitely get there. I just don't think he's there quite yet.
He's not there yet. No, you could see he was not there yet. He needs another year. All right, so we're we've gone longer than I thought. This was fun, and 8:00 tonight, my time, so Eastern Standard Time, the actual expansion draft will happen. Don't be surprised if there's differences because this is just leaked stuff and sometimes it might not be 100% accurate. I do believe this is pretty accurate though. I would bet money that this is pretty accurate. So there we go. I want to just one more time thank John and Hot Take for the graphic. Yeah, I found it online. I want to thank you that it was out there and just acknowledge that was your graphic that I'm using. Thank you. And I think that's it. If you like the video, give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the notifications bell. That'll get you your daily fix of Blue, Blanc, Rouge. Please leave a comment in the comment section about anything that we said here in this video. And that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe out there. See you next video. Peace out, y'all. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.